There is a silent light rising, not with noise, not with force, but with quiet power. A light that's beginning to shine across the great cities of the West, from the alleys of London to the streets of New York. It is the light of Islam. No, it does not come wrapped in politics or violence, nor does it knock with a hand of fear. It enters through the heart, one soul at a time, through the eyes of those tired of emptiness, disillusioned with excess, and thirsty for truth. People who have everything but peace. Islam is not invading, it is inviting. It does not demand, it declares. There is no God but Allah. That simple yet mighty sentence has entered coffee shops, classrooms, hospitals, and prisons, spoken by people who once knew nothing of it but now feel everything because of it. What is it that makes a man in a suit leave the boardroom to bow 5 times a day? What makes a woman who once chased trends now chase truth in modesty and honor? It's not coercion, it's conviction. It's not tradition, it's transformation. Islam teaches not chaos, but discipline. Not isolation, but community. Not self-worship, but submission. It invites us not to worship the creation, but the creator of all creation. And in the midst of Western confusion, gender debates, moral collapse, spiritual voids, this message lands like rain on dry land. It is not the East imposing itself on the West. It is the human soul remembering its origin. People aren't just converting to Islam, they are coming home to it. They are not being conquered, they are being completed. And that, my dear listener, is the miracle of truth. You cannot silence it, you cannot bury it, because truth, like the sun, rises even after the longest night. And so, the silent light spreads softly, steadily, surely, and it will not stop, not because of strategy, but because it is divinely written that light shall overcome darkness, and hearts once touched by God will never be the same. Thank you. The rise of Islam in the West is not a clash, but a calling. This powerful yet often misunderstood movement is not driven by political ambitions or ideological warfare. It is not about one civilization overtaking another, but about hearts awakening to a deeper truth, one that transcends borders, languages, and cultural divides. The narrative we often hear in media and popular discourse tends to frame Islam as a foreign element, a threat, or something incompatible with Western values. Yet when you strip away the noise and the headlines, you begin to see something far more profound and beautiful. Islam is quietly entering Western hearts, not through arguments or aggression, but through the power of spiritual clarity, the beauty of discipline, and the undeniable integrity of its message. At the root of this calling lies a growing hunger. Western societies have advanced in technology, education, and infrastructure, but many people are waking up each day with a sense of inner emptiness. They have the comforts of life, yet feel a discomfort in the soul. The pursuit of pleasure, fame, and material success has left a void that science cannot explain and entertainment cannot fill. People are beginning to ask deeper questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What happens after this life? These are the questions that Islam addresses with remarkable simplicity and depth. Islam does not demand blind faith. It encourages reflection, study, and reason. It calls on the heart and the intellect alike. It connects the human being not only with his creator, but also with his purpose, his fellow humans, and even the environment around him. It is not surprising then that so many converts to Islam in the West describe their journey not as a leap into something foreign, but as a return to something familiar, a rediscovery. Many say that Islam put into words what their hearts had always felt. They speak of peace, not just the peace that comes after prayer, but the peace that comes from knowing where you stand with God and what is expected of you. In a world where everything seems to change, from values to identities to even truth itself, Islam offers a grounding, a constant, a clear path. The calling of Islam in the West is also seen in the everyday character of Muslims. who live their faith with quiet dignity. It's in the honesty of the Muslim shopkeeper, the compassion of the Muslim nurse, the discipline of the Muslim athlete who fasts in Ramadan while training. These small acts, done sincerely for the sake of God, shine brighter than any sermon or speech. They awaken curiosity, admiration, and sometimes deep respect. For many non-Muslims, their first experience with Islam is not through the Quran or a mosque. It is through a Muslim neighbor, colleague, or friend. And when they ask questions, they find not fear, but answers. Not dogma, but a dialogue. This calling is not about changing one's passport or nationality. It's about changing one's inner state. It is a call to submit, not to a man or a system, but to the one who created man and all systems. It is a call to bow, not in humiliation, but in liberation. Liberation from ego, from confusion, from aimlessness. Islam does not offer an escape from the world. It offers a way to live in it, with purpose, with balance, with gratitude. And perhaps that is why, despite the attempts to marginalize or misrepresent it, Islam continues to grow, not in chaos, but in calm, not in masses, but in meaningful personal transformations. What we are witnessing in the West today is not a religious trend. It is a spiritual return. It is the soul recognizing the sound of its Maker's call and choosing to answer. Even when it goes against societal expectations or personal comfort, this calling will continue, not because of campaigns or advertising, but because truth has a pull that no one can resist forever. And when that truth is lived with love, sincerity, and patience, it becomes not just a message, it becomes a light, a silent light, spreading across hearts, across homes, and across the very soul of the West. In an age where uncertainty fills the air and confusion clouds the mind, the quiet spread of Islam across the Western world is not a coincidence. It is a return to sacred values that many have forgotten. Modern life, especially in the West, has offered comfort, convenience, and technological progress, but it has often done so at the cost of spiritual depth and moral clarity. People have gained the world, but many feel